tremendous background and career, who through the years has contributed so much to our medium and deserves recognition. I'm going to record this for my own research. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to one of our special guests at this convention, Mr. Joe Giella. Joe, I know you stopped drawing Mary Worth recently at 88. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. When did you first get interested in drawing?
First?
Yeah.
When I was 13 years old.
Okay. I mean, what was it? The Sunday comics you were fascinated by? Some art book? I mean, what?
Let's see. I love the animation and Walt Disney animation, and I noticed some of the students. I kept looking at their drawings, and I was fascinated by. I said, "My God, I think I can do this," you know. And I went home and I tried, and that was the beginning. I mean, 13 years old, I don't remember that much, but I know everything I seen, everything I looked at, I wanted to duplicate.
I mean, so were you imitating the cartoons you were watching, like
Yes,
Disney
yes.
and Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, all my books, math books, English books were covered with drawings. And I was always being chastised for destroying the books. And then, you know, my parents had to go to school, and because I was in trouble, you know. Destroying all these books, they're covered with drawings. They really were. About 5, 6 books, every page was covered. So,
I mean, were you encouraged by art teachers or anyone, to develop your work?
not at that time, not at 13 years old. You see. My English teacher, I remember his name, Mr. Egan, approached my dad, and he says, "I think you better send this boy to art school." And that was it. My father listened, thank God.
And so you went to the Art Students League, right?
Well, I went to the School of Industrial Art.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that was in Manhattan. And then, just continued the artwork. And the Art Students League came later.
Okay.
Later on.
So in the School of Industrial Arts, you were taught the basics of like anatomy and perspective and landscape?
That school wasn't the best scholastically, but academically rather. But if you wanted to learn the arts, cartooning, illustration, photography, that was the school.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I
Okay. And did you see yourself, you wanted to be a fine artist? Did you want to be a magazine illustrator? What did you see as your end goal first?
I just wanted to be in cartoons.
Cartoons, okay. So you were reading the daily and Sunday comics?
Oh, yes. I remember making kites with the Journal American. It was about lunch, Sunday page. And we'd be flying kites and get caught up into the telephone lines and bring down the frame and cover it with the Journal American. And there was a comic page flying.
What were the strips you liked most? Who were the artists who influenced you?
Right now?
No, then.
Oh,
No.
then? Well, Hal Forster, Prince Valiant.
Right.
Milton Caniff later on, Terry the Pirates.
So you're drawing more to the fine art?
The adventure type.
Alex
Yeah.
Foster?
Hal Forster.
Not Hal Foster, Alex Raymond, sorry.
Alex Raymond, oh yes, Alex Raymond, Flash Gordon,
Yeah.
which I wound up working with him for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you finished the School of Industrial Arts.
Right.
Where did you go from here? How did you wind up path to comics?
Let's see. pounding on doors and hot pavements, and couldn't get a job because I had no experience. And this is true with any artist who starts out. But Ed Cronin at the Hillman Periodicals, he gave me a break. And my first assignment was an animated feature called Captain Codfish. There was an octopus behind the counter with a lot of arms, and he's serving everyone, you know. That's what I did.
Well, all right, so you get this first job, but had you ever seen a comic book script? Did you know what to do when you got the script and went home with artboard and figure out how to draw this?
No, but you kind of figure it out. I mean, it's on the script.
Right.
You know, it's panel 1, so-and-so, panel 2. You know, you try to do what get as close as you can to what the writer wanted, you know. And then after Captain Codfish.
Which, by the way, records show he did this when he was 17, so we got a good early start.
Right. And then I got my first job, my real first salary job was, because Captain Codfish was a freelance job.
Of course.
But Stanley gave me my first job at Timely Comics, which is originally called Timely, and then became Marvel Comics. And I worked at Marvel Comics for 3.5 years.
You went on staff in the
office?
office?
It was good training for a young artist. I was on staff, and it's an area allocated for young artists that's called bullpen. And that's what it put me in. You do a little of everything, a little penciling, a little drawing. I was telling this gentleman here that you kind of figure out what you want to do. See? And then later on, I went to DC Comics.
Well, before that, I mean, while you were Timely, were you working on any regular features at that point?
All the regular features, but touching up.
Okay.
Like the corrections. Well, Joe, do a background, or we don't like this panel. Lay it out differently. You know. That's what I meant by very good training for young artists. You get to do a little of everything.
Now, when you got the staff job, was this before or after the incident, the famous subway incident?
You read about that.
I did my research. Let's talk.
They never let me forget my first job. Stanley gave me. I lost on the train. Just took off and left the job. Needless to say, no one slept in my household that night. But he gave me another chance, you know, and he says, okay. He put me in the bullpen.
But did someone come to your aid with that lost job?
Mike Sikowski.
Right. So, Mike, one of the fastest pencilers on earth.
Absolutely. Fast penciling, I was saying before.
Now, you went to Timely. Where does the Art Students League fit in? Because you went to school with both Sikowski and Joe Kubert at that point.
Yeah, it was just something to supplement it. I went with my son Frank. Every Friday we go out to Manhattan and just do life classes, drawing, just something.
Okay, so it was just to hone your craft.
Right.
Okay, and after Timely, is that when you were working for C.C. Beck?
No, C.C. Beck.
You and C.C. Again, my research shows that you worked in a studio run by C.C. Beck and Pete Costanza. You were going out to Jersey.
Yeah, Englewood, New Jersey, right? Yes.
So before or after Timely?
I think it was before.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I thought that was.
No.
I forgot about Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's done it all.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I want to understand, that he's more than
I
just.
can't remember everything. You know? 72 years in the business. You know?
Yeah, but you know, it was a different. You were freelance. You were at the studio. You were actually commuting, and they were doing a different kind of comic than what Timely was putting out, or Hillman. Did you learn much from Beck?
When you say different, I mean,
Well, the type of stories they told, the type of cartooning they were doing was a little bit different.
Well, it was an adventure strip.
Right.
I mean, what's the difference between Captain Marvel and Captain America? You know, they're both superheroes. See? So what I was doing was, at the time, I may have been about 17 years old, I think, 16, 17. Background work or penciling, redraw this figure or correct this. That's what I was doing. They didn't give me a script to do.
Okay.
Not at that age.
And
Lucky for them.
so you finished with them, and then you went to Timely. You said you were at Timely for 3.5 years. So was it time to go out on your own?
I would have stayed at Timely, but I met a fellow who later became the best man in my running, very terrific artist, Frank Giella.
Ah, okay.
And he kind of talked me into going with him to DC Comics. I resisted, but he was very persistent, and he talked me into it. And I said, all right, okay, and I went.
Do you remember at all why he, what would the appeal was in his mind? Why go to DC? Did they pay better? Did they treat you better? Better stories?
I don't know what it is, but sometimes I may have a magnet in me. I attract people that they stick with me, and they say, Joe, you gotta come with me. Why? I'm happy here. He talked me into it.
Okay, and you were starting to, you initially were penciling and inking your own stories when you got your own scripts, right?
No.
No?
When I went to DC Comics, I went there as an inker.
Okay.
And now I went with Julie Schwartz was my editor, and met him. And I worked with him on all the features: Batman, Superman, Jimmy Oakley, Hopalong Cassidy, all the characters, so everyone. And but inking.
Right.
The penciling and inking that I did for DC was later on. Was licensing work.
Right. Okay.
And T-shirts. I worked with on projects like let's say the drugs.
Right.
Terry Cunningham.
Right. We're much more modern times. I want to really talk about before DC. I mean, for example, you were in the Navy Reserve. Did you get to draw during that period, or were you strictly away from the table?
Well, I was home with the reserve. When I was home, I was drawing.
Right.
When I was on a ship, 18 weeks at sea, I'm going to draw it, I'm in the North Atlantic.
Okay. Was that a good experience for you being out there?
When we joined up, I thought I was going to go to Europe, France, and Norway. North Atlantic, back and forth. Picket duty is looking for submarines. I almost went deaf with the depth charges. But I guess it was okay. Until the Korean War broke out. But I digress, I'm sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Oh, okay.
But so you were reserved during the Korean War? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
One year they called you to go on active duty, 2 weeks a year, 1 month during the Korean War. You're on active duty, and that's it. There's no drawing.
Right. Okay, so Frank brings you over to DC.
Right.
Sets you up with Julie Schwartz. What was Julie like? Because I know him towards the end of his career.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Julie Schwartz, unique. What can I say? He's a tough editor, very tough, but he was fair, very fair editor. And
Well, Julie always admitted he was never good with the art. I mean, if you could look at a page and he didn't understand what was going on in the panel, he'd have it fixed. But beyond that, he really wasn't are trained and all.
Yeah.
So as the anchor, how was he tough on you?
He relied on people like anchors like the Murphy Anns and other anchors and other pencilers, and he would go on their judgment, and say, "What do you think of this, Joe?" I said, "Well, Julie, it needs some work, So I fix it. And I said,
Julie, at this point we're talking the 1950s, so he was starting up the science fiction books.
Right.
He was doing some of the westerns. You mentioned Jimmy Wakely, which I think was his. Not so much of the superhero stuff at the time because they weren't around. This is during the anti-comics movement and seduction of the innocent and all.
Right.
Were you worried comics were going to go away?
Yes.
Were you thinking about what you might do beyond that?
Well, yeah, I did.
But no escape plan. You just were thinking about it.
I know whatever I would do, I would come home and I used to roof houses.
When was this?
A hot sun, yeah. Well, I worked for H.J. Roth in Flushing, and I was before I was married, 16, like that, 15, 16.
Just before the first Tillman job then?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so.
Right. And, but when I came home, I always asked, "Mom, anybody call? Any editor?"
Right.
No. That's it.
Now, once Frank Horchik, Julie, and Julie started putting you to work, was it steady?
Oh, yeah. 45 years, I never was without a job with Julie.
Because,
Because when I say he was fair, I meant that if you delivered,
right.
you were okay with him. See, but if you didn't deliver, then that's it. Then, you didn't get any work.
At the time, each editor had their own set of titles as well as their own set of talent. Very rarely did talent work for more than one editor. So in your case, you were inking, Sikowski and Carmine, Gil came.
Okay.
And who else might there be?
Well, when I did Superman and Kurt Swan,
That came later, sure, but
let's see.
I mean, did you, back in the 50s again, there was also multiple genres before the superhero revival. So did you have one genre you liked inking better than another?
No, superheroes. But while I was doing work for Julie, I did work for Dan Barry.
On the Syndicate?
Flash Gordon.
Okay.
Yes. And also for Frank Giacoy, he was doing the Sherlock Holmes strip.
Oh, okay.
And I was working with him on that. And Johnny Red. And I think I went a gamut with the comic strips.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. So, how many pages, if you had time to work on the strips, how many pages of work could you produce in a day back then?
Not many. That's why I went to inking. See?
Right.
No one starts out as an inker. It's for monetary reasons. You go from penciling inking. Some, like Mike Sikowski, his forte was penciling, and he could pencil like crazy, So he stayed with penciling. With me, I can pencil and ink, but I made more money inking because I could do 2 pages a day, 3 pages a day as opposed to 1 in pencil. So I stayed with that. In a way it's good, in a way it's bad, because Julie Schwartz realized that I could pencil, and he gave me pencilers that were work left to be a lot left to be desired, So in other words, correct this, correct that. I'm not going to mention names, but
We want to hear that.
and many times, I'd receive a page, an ink page, and there were all blue marks around the page indicating the corrections. This one here, change this, change that, change that. And I remember going to him and saying, "Julie, why don't you go to pencil it and let him make a change. He got paid for it. Oh, no, he's too sensitive. Go home scratching your head. What am I into, you know? So, but that's the way it was with Julie, you know. So he knew I could pencil, and the same with other artists, you know. And Julie was smart enough to hire people who could pencil and ink. Okay? So he couldn't miss, you know. That was it. But he was good at it. Best I ever worked.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
As I walked in, you were talking to the gentleman in the front row, and I heard him ask the question I was going to ask you, which is, you know, is there a favorite penciler you like working on?
Irv Nolan.
Okay.
I liked Irv Nolan.
What was it about his work?
Well, he can draw.
Yeah, so can Carmine and Gill, so I mean.
But there was something about his work, his layouts, the penciling was tight, very close. I didn't want to compare myself with Irv Nolan, but it was tight. I mean, if you drew a figure, it was drawn right. You know, the anatomy was there. And his layouts were exciting. You know, I just liked working on it. And later on, he wanted to do a comic strip with me. But he passed away.
Now, once the superhero revival began and they were very successful, suddenly you were now making the same artists on superheroes. Did the nature of the work itself feel any different to you, or was it just pencils or pencils?
No, it was different. It was different. I recall when they asked me to do Mary Worth, John Saunders, the writer, he says, "Joe, you're not going to be happy working on this strip because you're used to superheroes flying off buildings and crashing through windows, and Mary's a, and strip is more for elderly people, you know, soap opera. And he was right, you know. When I was penciling it was kind of boring.
And yet you stayed for a year.
Yeah, a year, 25 years.
I said years.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But, all right, so superheroes are taking off. Everyone's doing these, you know, more action-packed stories. And then we get to 1964, and Julie says to you, I'm putting you on Batman. I'm putting you on Bob Kane and his ghosts, and I'm putting you on Carmine because, as I understand it, Julie was looking for a uniformity in the look, and you were going to tie these very different styles together. What kind of a challenge was that?
You know, I have to be honest, it didn't bother me.
Okay.
Really, it's just a job.
But what you were getting from, you know, Shelley Moldoff, who was ghosting for Bob at the time,
Oh, yeah.
and Carmine, they were very different types of artists drawing the same characters, and
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Well, working on Shelley, he had, it's a different style. See, completely different style. It wasn't my style.
right.
See, Carmine's style was more like mine, was more modern.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to work on it, to bring it around. But Shelley, it was all there, but the style just wasn't my cup of tea.
No, because Shelley was aping what Bob had done, and
Right.
Bob's style hadn't evolved in all those years.
Exactly.
Now, my understanding is, and you were there, maybe you know, Bob complained to Julie because he didn't like what Carmine was doing. It was too different from what Bob was doing. Do you know anything about that?
Bob was complaining to Julie.
About Carmine's version of
Yeah.
Batman because it didn't match his.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, I really didn't, so I can't comment on it.
Fair enough. But you got to know Bob.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I got along well with Bob.
Well, you know, was he just, my impression was Bob was never part of the community. Didn't come in for lunch and hang out with people.
No,
He
no.
dropped off to work and took the
Right,
check.
right.
So how did you get to know him?
He approached, I'll get this right. He approached me and he says, "Joe, I'd like you to work with me." I said, "Well, no, it's a side building. And the check wouldn't come from D.C. He would take care of it. He had a TV show. I think it was every Saturday or Sunday morning. And he would, he'd have an audience like this, and he was up on stage with a large easel and a large drawing pad on the easel. And what he wanted me to do was draw all the villains on this pad every Saturday or Sunday. He'd call me up and say, "Joe, give me 2 or 3 villains." I said, "Which ones you want?" Penguin, Joker, whatever. And I would meet at his apartment. And I remember his mother, very much like my mother, very nice lady. And and he would say, "Joe, give me the Joker, but do it in a very light blue pencil." Oh, yeah. Oh, I take a blue pencil.
That's great.
Joker. I give him the pages. So he'd go Saturday or Sunday, he'd put it up on the pad, and the audience was there, and he'd go with a black Sharpie magic marker that I'm using now. I signed about 500 autographs yesterday with that marker. I wore out about 3 of them. Same marker, and he'd go over my lines, and he got a big hand. And then I remember my boys, my 3 sons, well, Frankie wasn't born yet, but Danny, but Dad, that's not fair. It's his strip of mine.
That's
But I
fine.
got all the road, Bob. I really did.
You want to share the police story?
Did you hear about that?
You told me on the phone.
I was walking with him to his apartment because we were going to discuss some additional drawings. And he says, "Joe," he says, "come with me to the police station." Why? I lost my wallet and they found it. So I walk in the police station with him, and he says, "I'm Bob Kane." He says, "I'm the creator of Batman." I got so embarrassed, I felt like hiding under a desk, But the police, they loved him. They, 4 or 5 of them, they called the sergeant. They were all crowding around him. And I'm standing alone, He says, "This guy's crazy." But anyway, and they found his wallet. We went back to his apartment. We did a few more sketches, See, a lot of the artists, a lot of fellows, I guess they didn't get along with Bob for some reason. Well, maybe it was fine, really. I kind of got along with everybody.
Now, Bob had been doing Batman for all these years, and suddenly there's a TV show, and it gets this huge popularity,
Right.
which led to you actually taking time away from comics to do this trip. How was that?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stories, but I'm going to tell you the truth.
Truth is good.
Walt Weisinger, he was an editor at DC Comics. He approached me and he says, "Joe," he calls me in his office. He says, "Joe, I'd like you to do the Batman strip." I said, "Why the Batman?" Because doing a syndicated strip at that time was the pinnacle. That was it. Wow. So I said, "Do you want me to ink it?" He says, "No, we want you to pencil and ink." Because they knew I could pencil and ink. And I said, "Okay." So I go into Julie and I said, "Julie, Walt wants me to pencil in the script." He said, "I know, I heard." He said, "But you're not going to be happy working with him. He's a rough editor, very bad reputation with artists,
And writers.
But I remember I quit twice.
Ooh.
I I didn't even sign the contract. I said, no, I'm not working with this man, you know. But we finally agreed on, he was gonna provide me with a letterer and paper to work on, a special type of paper,
Oh, it was craft tint?
crafted paper.
Okay.
Right.
Craft tint is chemically treated paper that, depending on which of two chemicals you used, can get two different tones. Look like gray tones. I guess it was